We hear Joe's voice, calm, steady, intimate. I'm not a bad guy. I just care too much. I don't believe in fate. I believe in moments. Fleeting, fragile, painfully precise. One look, one sentence, one name. That's all it takes for someone to live in my head, rent-free, forever. Joe Goldberg is not your typical serial killer. He's well-read, he's polite, he's articulate, he's even romantic. And yet, bodies pile up behind him like bookmarks in a twisted love story. But what makes Joe terrifying isn't that he's a murderer. It's that he's convincing. Convincing to us. Convincing to himself. He believes he's the hero of this story. And part of us, horrifyingly, wants to believe him because we think he is us. If you stripped away the lies you tell yourself, this isn't just about a fictional man stalking women. This is about the dangerous myths we write into our obsessions. This is the story of how the mind of Joe Goldberg is already affecting us, and we don't even know it. The monster who reads. Joe Goldberg is the literary monster of our age. A man who quotes Hemingway while planning murder, who wraps obsession in poetry, who weaponizes sensitivity. He works at bookstores, he reads Jane Austen, he listens when women speak, he understands them, and then he cages them, sometimes literally. Joe isn't just a killer, he's a reflection, a cultural mirror of the modern man, emotionally literate, romantically starved, psychologically wounded. His appeal lies in the contradiction. He's a monster cloaked in love letters. But how does he get inside our heads? The genius of You is that it's told from Joe's perspective. His internal monologue guides us, charms us, lulls us into empathy. We hear his reasoning, we see his pain, we get his logic, and then, just when we're about to sympathize, he does something horrifying. And we realize he's not just lying to us, he's lying to himself. Why do we root for Joe? Why do we feel sick when he kills, but also relieved when he escapes? Because Joe exposes a moral flaw in us, the audience. He packages evil in the language of romance. He speaks the words every lonely heart wants to hear. I see you. I'll protect you. I'll never leave. He becomes the perfect man until he isn't. And by the time the truth arrives, it's already too late. Joe Goldberg shows us that monsters don't need fangs. They just need a voice that sounds like love, the seductive voice of empathy. Psychologically, Joe Goldberg is a master manipulator because he starts by convincing himself first. He doesn't say, I want to own you. He says, I want to understand you. And we, the audience, are made complicit. His voiceover pulls us in. We don't watch Joe's thoughts from the outside. We hear them. He speaks in a tone we recognize. Reflective, poetic, apologetic. It's the voice in our heads when we rationalize toxic love, when we confuse attention with affection, when we mistake obsession for devotion. Clinical psychologists describe this as cognitive empathy without moral empathy. Joe can imagine your feelings. He just doesn't care about the damage he causes. And that's the chilling part. He doesn't hurt people because he hates them. He hurts them because he thinks he loves them. The childhood blueprint. Joe's mind is a map of unresolved trauma, abuse, neglect, abandonment. Every scene from his past is a root in the tangled forest of his psyche. He didn't grow up learning love. He grew up searching for it. Desperately, fervently, unhealthily. He's not stalking women for sex or status. He's stalking the fantasy of emotional safety. He wants to rewrite his origin story through someone else. But fantasy always breaks under reality. And when it does, Joe breaks people. The audience dilemma, here's where things get uncomfortable. Joe Goldberg is a serial killer, but he's also trending, he's memeable, he's hot. Why? Because the show, You doesn't just show us Joe, it shows us ourselves. We've all rationalized bad behavior in someone we loved. We've all said, but they mean well. Joe takes that to its extreme. He's the nice guy who holds the door for you and then makes a copy of your keys. The terrifying brilliance of the show is that it makes you feel like you're the exception, that you, unlike Beck or Love or Marianne, would see through him. But that illusion is part of the design, because Joe doesn't just manipulate the women on screen, he manipulates us. He says what we want to hear. And in that way, he exposes how vulnerable we are to language, to loneliness, to charm. The myth of redemption. Every season, Joe swears he's changed, that this time, it's different, that he can be good. We believe him. Why? Because we're taught to believe in redemption arcs, in forgiveness, in second chances. But Joe uses redemption as a disguise. He doesn't grow, he adapts. That's not the same thing. Psychologically, this is what narcissists often do. They present moments of self-awareness as change, but awareness without accountability is just decoration. Joe doesn't want to be better. He wants to be seen as better. And that is the final trick. How Joe affects us. Joe Goldberg is not your usual psychopath. He's a romantic. He's a storyteller. He's a man who thinks that love excuses everything, even murder. And maybe the scariest part is this. He doesn't know he's the villain. He still thinks he's saving you, and part of you still believes he might be right. He's not a fantasy. He's a warning. I did this for you. You'll see. One day, you'll thank me. I know what you're thinking. That you're not like them. That you're smarter, different, safe. But I see you. The way you romanticize pain. The way you crave connection so badly. You mistake danger for devotion. You let me in. You heard me speak. You followed me here. So tell me, who's really watching who? The most dangerous cage is the one you lock yourself in.